Hey guys, I'm Aaron Hoskins. I'm here at the Quilt Craft and Sewing Festival in Sacramento, California, and it's St. Patrick's Day, so I've been having some fun with the Baby Lock Destiny 2 and IQ Designer. I've been using some cool green thread, and I actually found some shamrocks on the machine. So I've actually found a border design as well. So I've applied the chain stitch to that line property there, and I have also filled the shamrock and applied the candle wicking stitch to the outside perimeter of that. So let's get to the machine and I'll show you how that's done. The first thing that I want to do is I want to open up IQ Designer. I want to scan the frame because I want to see where the design is on my fabric, because I have already stitched some designs onto this fabric. I don't want the shamrock design to interfere with that. Now that the machine has scanned our fabric, I can see my previous designs that I've actually stitched. So now what I want to do is I'm going to lower that contrast a little bit so that you can see what is on the fabric. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually pull up the border design first. So I'm going to touch my shape icon, touch the open shapes icon, and find my border. Or it's a frame rather. Well, I know that's way too large because if I leave it the size that it is, it will overlap my previous stitching. So I'm going to size that down. That seems to be pretty good. So now I want to rotate it. So I want to rotate this 45 degrees. So I'm going to touch my 10 degree icon 4 times and my 1 degree icon 5 times. And then I can move this design up. And that seems to be pretty good because it's not interfering with my previous stitching. Now I'm going to touch next. Now I want to see all of the design highlighted, so I'm going to touch my chain icon. Now everything is as one. However, the line property is set at a satin stitch. That's not what I want. I want that to be a chain stitch. So I touch that. I touch my chain stitch icon, and I also want it to be green because I have that capability. So I'm going to make it green. And to apply those stitches, I have to do nothing because the machine's already done it for me. So now I'm going to save that design. I'm going to touch preview and take this design over into embroidery. There it is in embroidery, looks really nice. I'm going to touch set. And I'm going to save this design in machine memory over in the embroidery side. So now what I want to do is I want to go back to IQ Designer because I want to add the shamrock to the center of this frame. So I'm going to go home, open up IQ Designer. Since I saved it, I can retrieve it from the memory. It left the design in the same quadrant, in the same area that it was where we left off. So now I'm going to touch the shape icon, go to open shapes, and select my shamrock. Now that shamrock is way too large, so I'm going to size it down. That looks nice. I can place it where I want it. Now what I want to do here is I want to add a fill stitch inside the shamrock, a candle wicking stitch to the perimeter of the shamrock, and then this stem, I don't want that to stitch at all. So I go into my line properties menu, I touch my candle wicking stitch, and I'm going to make that green. Now I'm going to add the fill stitch to the inside of the shamrock. So I go to the fill properties menu, I'm going to make that green as well. This fill stitch is already selected. Now, we can't forget that we want to make this go away. So I'm going to go back into my line properties menu, touch no sew, select that, We're good there. However, I do not want the frame design to be sent over to embroidery with this shamrock. So I'm going to go into my line properties and again make sure that no sew is selected. So I'm going to make sure that happens. This is just one way. I'm going through and selecting. Okay. Now, the only thing that's left is our shamrock, so I'm going to touch preview. I'm going to go ahead and save that. I always save in IQ. We're going to set it and take it all the way over to embroidery. And there's our design right there. And we're ready to stitch.